In our accountancy practice, we have taken on 750 clients over the last 3 years, and this is a question that comes up time and time again. Mastering self-employed deadlines. This is your comprehensive guide to registration, self-assessment, national insurance contributions, and VAT. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are brand new here, then welcome. My name is Rachel and I am a disruptor in the accounting industry. So I'm disrupting what it means to be an accountant, what it feels like to have an accountant, and showing you the behind the scenes of what running an accountancy practice really looks like. I create completely long and short form content across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and so I'd absolutely love to see you there, where I share behind the scenes daily content of what it's like to scale a business. You can use the links in the description of this video to find me everywhere that you consume content. In today's video, I am answering a very frequently asked question. In our accountancy practice, we have taken on 750 clients over the last 3 years, and this is a question that comes up time and time again. So today we're going to be talking about mastering self-employed deadlines. This is your comprehensive guide to registration, self-assessment, national insurance contributions, and VAT, which is for self-employed people in the UK. So that's also known as or referred to being a sole trader, being a freelancer. So this is not a limited company, this is for self-employed individuals. So let's kick things off at the point where you are just setting up your side hustle, or you are finally taking the leap into starting your self-employed venture. The first thing that you need to know is actually when you have to register as self-employed with HMRC. So ideally, you'll register as self-employed as soon as possible once you've started trading, or you might even know before you're going to start trading and register in advance. At the very latest though, because today we're talking about deadlines, you'll need to make sure that you have registered your self-employed status with HMRC by the 5th of October after the end of the tax year in which you became self-employed. So in the UK, the tax year runs from the 6th of April to the 5th of April every single year, and then you have until the following 5th of October after your first year to register as self-employed. It's important to note here that you can register as self-employed at any point during the tax year, and it's in the tax year that you became self-employed, which are the important dates. So, for example, if you started your self-employed business on the 1st of May 2023, the deadline for registering as self-employed would be the 1st of October 2024, and the tax year that you would fall into would run from the 6th of April 2023 to the 5th of April 2024. If you don't meet the deadline of the 5th of October, you could find yourself having to pay a penalty, which you could have easily avoided. So once you are registered as self-employed, you should make sure that you've got all of the appropriate insurance policies in place from the get-go to protect you and your business against any risks or liabilities. This could include things like public liability or professional indemnity insurance, depending on the type of work that you do. Make sure before you start your business that you've done a little bit more research into these types of requirements. So let's talk about the deadline for actually submitting a tax return, because we've talked today about registering as self-employed. So once you're registered, self-employed individuals must complete a self-assessment tax return every year and file it to HMRC by the 31st of January following the end of the relevant year. So I said earlier that the tax year for self-employed people runs from the 6th of April to the 5th of April, and so the self-assessment tax return for the year that ends on the 5th of April 2024 would be due on the 31st of January 2025. You also need to pay the income tax that you owe by midnight on the 31st of January too. It's important to note that there's usually a second payment deadline on the 31st of July if you make payments on account, and if you want to find out more information about payments on account, you can check out this video here. So we've done registering for self-employed, we have talked about the deadline for filing the tax return, but what about national insurance? So if you decide to move into the world of self-employment, one of your biggest responsibilities is paying your own national insurance contributions. So in the UK, national insurance is a legal tax requirement for anybody who earns money, and your contributions will normally be calculated and paid for when you're in employment. However, most self-employed people also need to pay Class 2 national insurance contributions, and if you make above a certain amount, you might also need to pay Class 4 national insurance. The deadline for making national insurance contributions is nice and easy to remember. So Class 2 and Class 4 national insurance are calculated and paid along with income tax liabilities through the self-assessment system. You can find an earlier video here where I talk all things national insurance contributions and payroll if you need any more information. So today, the final deadline that might apply to you as a sole trader is the deadline for registering for VAT. If you're just starting up your business, then this one you might not need to worry about. But if you reach the end of the month and your annual turnover from the previous 12 months is more than the VAT registration threshold, then you must register for VAT. The VAT threshold is currently £85,000, and you should also register for VAT if you think you will go over the registration threshold within the next 30 days of business. If you're reaching levels of turnover whereby you're needing to think about the VAT registration threshold, then it might be more tax efficient for you to incorporate a limited company too. Don't forget to make sure to book time in with your accountant to chat through what this is, what it might look like, and how and why it could be beneficial for you. Don't forget, if I've discussed anything today that's made you think, I think I need an accountant, you can use the link in the description to this video to become a client of ours. And that's a wrap for today. So we've covered deadlines for registering as self-employed, deadlines for filing your self-assessment, making national insurance contributions, and the VAT threshold, which will have answered all of your questions about mastering self-employed deadlines. Please do let me know in the comments section what you found the most useful today, and if you've got any more questions, you can pop them in the comment section. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you again very soon.